Listen to me right now. I'm talking directly to you, not the person next to you, not somebody else who might need this more. You, the person watching this, hearing this message right now. This is your moment. This is your wake-up call. You know that feeling you've been carrying around, that weight on your chest that tells you something needs to change, that voice in your head that whispers you're capable of more but you keep ignoring it, that restlessness that won't let you sleep at night because you know you're living below your potential. I'm here to tell you that feeling is not your enemy. That feeling is your salvation. It's time to reset your life. It's time to restart your dreams. It's time to refocus your energy on what actually matters. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's start with some honesty. Real honesty. The kind that makes you uncomfortable because it forces you to look at yourself without the filters, without the excuses, without the stories you tell yourself to make your current situation feel okay. You've been sleepwalking through your life. You know it, I know it, and deep down in that place you don't like to visit, you've known it for a long time. You've been going through the motions, following routines that don't serve you, making the same decisions that got you to this exact place you're trying to escape from. You wake up, you check your phone, you go through your day on autopilot, you come home tired from activities that don't fulfill you, you distract yourself with entertainment that numbs your mind, you go to sleep, and you do it all over again, day after day after day. And somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself this was normal. You convinced yourself this was just how life works. But here's what I want you to understand. Normal is not natural. Average is not your destiny. Mediocrity is not your birthright. You were not put on this earth to be a background character in your own life story. The person you are right now has more power than you realize. That person has more potential than you've been willing to claim. That person is capable of a complete transformation that starts with one simple decision. The decision to stop accepting less than what you know you deserve. I need you to hear this, and I need you to really absorb it. Your life is not happening to you. Your life is happening because of you. Every single circumstance you find yourself in right now, every challenge, every setback, every disappointment, is the result of decisions you made or decisions you avoided making. I know that's hard to hear. I know it's easier to blame your circumstances, your past, your family, your lack of resources, your bad luck, the economy, the system, other people. It's easier to point fingers than to look in the mirror. But easy won't change your life. Easy won't transform your reality. Easy won't give you the future you want. What will change your life is when you stop looking for someone to rescue you and start being your own hero. What will transform your reality is when you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start working with what you have. What will give you the future you want is when you take complete ownership of where you are and complete responsibility for where you're going. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you a better life. Nobody is going to make your dreams come true for you. The cavalry is not coming. The perfect opportunity is not coming. The right time is not coming. The only thing that's coming is another day and another chance for you to decide who you're going to be. You want to know the difference between people who transform their lives and people who stay stuck? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not connections, it's not money. It's the willingness to look at their life and say, this is my responsibility, this is my creation, and if I created this reality, I can create a different one. Here's what most people don't understand about change. They think it has to be gradual. They think it has to take years. They think they have to ease into it slowly, make small adjustments, hope that somehow things will get better over time. That's not how real transformation works. Real transformation happens when you make a decision to completely reset your life. When you decide that who you were yesterday doesn't determine who you can be tomorrow. When you realize that your past does not equal your future unless you let it. A reset is not about forgetting your past or pretending your mistakes didn't happen. A reset is about refusing to let your history dictate your destiny. It's about understanding that every single day you wake up, you have the power to start over. You have the power to make different choices. You have the power to become a different person. Think about your phone when it starts acting up. What do? You restart it. You give it a fresh start. You clear the cache. You close the programs that aren't serving you. You give it a clean slate to work from. That's exactly what you need to do with your life. You need to identify the mental programs that are running in the background that are slowing you down, holding you back, draining your energy. You need to close them. You need to delete the thoughts that don't serve you. You need to uninstall the habits that are keeping you stuck. You need to upgrade your operating system. The person you've been is not the person you have to remain. The patterns you've followed are not the patterns you have to keep following. The story you've been telling yourself about what's possible for your life is not the only story you can tell. Let me ask you something. When did you stop dreaming? When did you stop believing that extraordinary things could happen in your life? When did you start settling for less than what your heart really wants? Was it after the first time someone told you to be realistic? Was it after the first major disappointment? Was it after you tried something and it didn't work out the way you hoped? Was it when you started listening to people who gave up on their own dreams tell you why yours wouldn't work either? Somewhere along the way, you learned to dream smaller. You learned to want less. You learned to expect less. You learned to settle, and you convinced yourself that was wisdom. You convinced yourself that was being mature. You convinced yourself that was being responsible. But what if I told you that giving up on your dreams is the most irresponsible thing you can do? What if I told you that settling for less than what your heart wants is not wisdom, it's cowardice? What if I told you that the world needs what you have to offer, and by playing small, you're depriving not just yourself, but everyone whose life you could touch? Your dreams didn't die. They're still there. They're buried under years of doubt, fear, and other people's opinions, but they're still alive. They're waiting for you to dig them up, dust them off, and breathe life back into them. It's time to restart those dreams. It's time to remember what you wanted before the world told you it was impossible. It's time to reconnect with that version of yourself that believed anything was possible. It's time to stop apologizing for wanting more and start working toward making it happen. But here's the thing about restarting your dreams. You can't do it with the same mindset that let them die in the first place. You can't do it with the same habits that kept you stuck. You can't do it with the same level of commitment that got you where you are. Restarting your dreams requires you to become a different person. It requires you to develop new habits, new disciplines, new standards for yourself. It requires you to stop being the person who gives up and become the person who finds a way. Now I want to talk to you about focus, because this might be the most important thing I share with you today. In a world that profits from your distraction, your ability to focus is your superpower. In a world that wants to scatter your attention in a million directions, the person who can focus on what matters most wins. Look around you. Look at your life. How much of your time, energy, and attention is being wasted on things that don't matter? How much of your mental capacity is being consumed by social media, negative news, other people's drama, entertainment that doesn't enrich your life? You're living in the most distracted generation in human history. You have a computer in your pocket that's designed to grab your attention and never let it go. You're surrounded by noise, by information overload, by 1,000 different voices telling you what to think, what to want, how to feel. And in the middle of all that chaos, you've lost touch with your own voice. You've lost touch with what you really want. You've lost touch with who you really are underneath all the external influences. It's time to refocus. It's time to get clear about what actually matters in your life and eliminate everything that doesn't serve that vision. It's time to become ruthlessly selective about where you invest your attention, your energy, your time. Because here's what I know about successful people, about people who transform their lives, about people who achieve extraordinary things. They don't have more time than you. They don't have more talent than you. They don't have more opportunities than you. What they have is better focus. What they have is the ability to say no to good things so they can say yes to great things. Let's talk about the things that are stealing your life from you. Let's talk about the distractions that are keeping you from becoming who you're meant to be. First, there's your phone. That device that you check 96 times a day on average. That portal to endless scrolling, mindless consuming, comparison, and time wasting. Every time you pick up your phone without a specific purpose, you're choosing distraction over progress. You're choosing other people's lives over your own life. Then there's the news, the constant stream of negative information about things you can't control, delivered by people whose job it is to keep you anxious, angry, and addicted to their content. Every minute you spend consuming news that doesn't help you make better decisions in your own life is a minute stolen from building the life you actually want. There's other people's drama, the gossip, the complaints, the negativity of people who have given up on their own potential and want to drag you down to their level. Every conversation that doesn't inspire you, challenge you, or help you grow is a conversation that's making you smaller. And maybe most dangerous of all, there's your own negative thinking. The mental habits that keep you stuck in the past or worried about the future instead of focused on what you can do right now. The internal dialogue that tells you why something won't work instead of figuring out how to make it work. All of these distractions have one thing in common. They steal your focus from what matters most, becoming the person you're capable of being and creating the life you actually want to live. I want to show you something that will change how you think about progress. Success is not about making massive changes overnight. Success is about making small, consistent improvements that compound over time. If you get 1% better every day for a year, you don't get 365% better. You get 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. That's the mathematics of transformation. But here's what most people do. They try to change everything at once. They make grand declarations. They set impossible standards. They burn themselves out in the first week and then use their failure as evidence that change is impossible for them. That's not how transformation works. Transformation works through consistent daily actions that seem insignificant in the moment, but become extraordinary over time. Getting up 30 minutes earlier every day doesn't feel like much, but over a year, that's 182 hours of extra time you've created for working on your goals. Reading 10 pages of a good book every day doesn't feel like much, but over a year, that's 18 books that could change how you think about everything. Working out for 20 minutes a day doesn't feel like much, but over a year, that's 121 hours of investing in your health and strength. Writing 500 words a day doesn't feel like much, but over a year, that's 182,500 words, enough for 2 books. The problem is not that change is impossible. The problem is that you're expecting to see results too quickly. You're expecting to feel different after one day, look different after 1 week, see massive progress after 1 month. But transformation doesn't work on your timeline. Transformation works on its own timeline. Your job is not to control when you see results. Your job is to stay consistent with the process that creates results. Here's something most people get wrong about change. They try to change their actions without changing their identity. They try to do different things while remaining the same person. And that's why most change doesn't last. If you want lasting transformation, you don't just need to change what you do. You need to change who you are. You need to shift your identity from the person you've been to the person your goals require you to become. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you are. Every time you go to the gym, you're voting for being a healthy person. Every time you read instead of watching TV, you're voting for being a learning person. Every time you choose the difficult path instead of the easy path, you're voting for being a strong person. The goal is not to change your actions for a few weeks or months. The goal is to change your actions until your identity catches up. Until you stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying to be healthy and start seeing yourself as a healthy person. Until you stop seeing yourself as someone who is trying to be successful and start seeing yourself as a successful person. When your identity aligns with your goals, you don't have to rely on motivation anymore. You don't have to force yourself to do the right things. You do the right things because that's who you are. I'm going to give you a specific framework that can transform your life in 90 days. Not because transformation happens in 90 days, but because 90 days is enough time to build new habits, see real progress, and prove to yourself that change is possible. For the next 90 days,